Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome in, Sarah and Grimly. We are super excited to have you here at Whispers from the Hidden Realm. And today we are here to share a message with you in regards to the energy shift that's been going on. I don't know if a lot of you have been feeling it, but I sure have. And I believe majority of the collective has as well. So we have 3 decks that came forward for us today. The very first one is the Crow Tarot. Okay. The next one is Seasons of the Witch Oracle. And last but not least is Higher Self Oracle. Okay. So we are going to see what these messages or what these cards have to share with us as far as messages go. I feel this is going to be a longer reading, so I do ask for your patience. If you cannot watch it right now, all of it right now, I would recommend that you save this reading and come back to it at a later time, or you may want to even save it and come back to it at a later time too, just to see how all of this energy processes and how you come through on the other side. So with that, without further delay, I'm going to set Grimly over here off to the side. He is going to support us like he normally does. And we're going to go ahead and get started with our reading today because there's a lot of messages that are coming through. All right, so I'm going to start with the Crow Tarot deck, and we're going to see what cards come forward for us today. So as I'm shuffling this, please remember I do keep the cards on the screen for you to use your own intuition and connect with these cards to see how these cards resonate in your life, because again, each one of us has a different life, and these cards may represent themselves in a different way than what Grimly and I have to say. Okay. All right. So we have 4 cards that came through on the Crow deck. Okay, and I'm just going to move that so I have a little bit more room here. All right, next is Seasons of the Witch. So we're going to see what comes forward with the Seasons of the Witch. If you are interested in private readings, we do offer a private reading. As a matter of fact, right now we do have a special going on for Valentine's Day where you get an hour reading with us. It is one-on-one, and after the reading, you actually get a copy or a picture of all of the tools. Now, when I talk about tools, that's cards or crystals or whatever it is that we use during your reading session. You'll get a picture of that so that way you can continue reflecting on the messages that may continue to come through after the reading. And in addition to that, you have the opportunity to do a Q&A session that needs to be scheduled 30 days after the reading to get more clarification in regards to any questions that you have with that. And that you get all of that for $80. So if you are interested, please send us an email through spooktify@gmail.com, and that information is linked in the bio below. I'm sorry, in the description below, and can also be found in our bio. But they must be scheduled by February 28th in order to have that $80 deal, okay? All right, so let me see. And I know I didn't keep you updated. I have gone through Seasons of the Witch, and now I'm on the Higher Self Oracle deck. So Seasons of the Witch. So the Crow Tarot deck gave us 4 cards. The Seasons of the Witch gave us 4 cards, and now I'm seeing what the Higher Self Oracle deck is giving us here. One more shuffle. Sorry, last shuffle. All right. All right, you guys, so yes, this is going to be a longer reading. So, and that's just due to the volume of the cards that are coming through. So the very first card that we have coming through is from the Crow Tarot deck. So it's the number 13, and it's the Death card in reverse. So the reason why this card is coming forward today is because I feel like some of you are trying to avoid changes, trying to avoid moving out of your comfort zone, okay? But with change, you have to move out of your comfort zone. If you want things to look differently in your world, if you're asking for things to change, you have to be willing to make those changes, whether it be releasing old habits, whether it be changing jobs, whether it be taking off a mask that you've worn forever, cleaning out friends and family members that don't add value to your life, putting up healthy boundaries, whatever this looks like for you in your world. It is time for you to identify and be honest with yourself as to what it is that you are refusing to let go of. For some of you, I feel like this may be a spouse or a love interest or a good friend that you've had forever, that you're noticing you guys are not connecting the same way that you did in the past, and that's because you have grown, they have not. I feel like for some of you, this is also diet, right? This is you changing how you're eating, how you're exercising. This could also be budgeting. I feel like for some of you, you didn't have a budget before, and now you're like, I really need to start pinching my pennies, so I need to start budgeting, but you're digging your heels in and not wanting to do that. Well, my friends, it is time for you to go ahead and even though you don't want to do it, it's time for you to release that energy. It's time for you to let go of that because it's holding you back at this point. And that's why you're reaching blocks around your manifestations and what you're trying to accomplish in your life, is because you're not letting go of what can't go forward with you. Okay? So please take the time to identify what that is and release it so it doesn't go forward and keep hindering you. Because when you start doing that, you're going to have the Ten of Pentacles, which the Ten of Pentacles means that you are going to have your dreams come true. You're going to have the money coming in that maybe you're looking for. You're going to have the better health, the better relationships, the better career opportunities, the advancement that you're looking for. It's all on the horizon for you. But it starts by you releasing what cannot go forward with you. And again, this number is the number 10. So this is the 10 of Pentacles here. And pentacles definitely mean abundance. Abundance is coming in. I mean, look at the sunflowers that are in the background. Look at all the flowers that have bloomed. This is one of the most prosperous cards that you can get out of a tarot deck. So good news is on the horizon for you, my friends. But you have to let go of the old energies in order to make room for the new energies that this Ten of Pentacles is trying to bring into your life. Okay, so if you're struggling with releasing things and you feel like, you know, you're never going to get where you want to go, well, right here, the Ten of Pentacles says, yes, you will. Yes, you will, but it's all your choice. Okay? If you're not sure of what it is that you're hanging on to, it's time for you to tap into the divine and ask for help from your guides, from God, from the universe, from the divine. Whatever your higher beings are, they're there to help you. They want to see you be successful because this is your birthright, okay? So it's time for you to step into your birthright. And the next card that we have coming in is the Hangman in reverse. Okay, so this is the number 12. This card is number 12. And what the Hangman in reverse is saying is you need to look at your situation from different perspectives. Because I feel like right now a lot of you are looking at the situation that you are in from only one angle. But that is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be looking at all angles, because as you do this, you're going to find the solutions. You're going to find the resolutions. You're going to be able to go, aha, that's what was holding me back. You're going to have those aha moments is what I'm feeling, okay? And it's going to be able to help you look at problems in a different way as well. Okay, I feel like some of you are dealing with a lot of problems and may have been dealing with them for quite some time. And by looking at it from a slightly different direction or a different angle, you're going to see the solution come forward for you. Okay? So I'm excited for you. That's a really cool opportunity for you. Okay? So the next one that's coming forward is the number 14, temperance. So what you're going through is telling you that you need to stay strong. You need to build your foundation. You need to be strong in your boundaries. You need to be strong in saying no when you want to say yes, because I feel like a lot of you have lived the past of saying yes all the time to things that you really meant to say no to, just because you felt you needed to say yes. This is a very grounding card telling you it's time for you to stand your ground. It's time for you to tap into what it is that you really want. Tap into the life that you want and speak your truth. Don't fold to be anybody else. And pour, look at this, these cups right here, this is a symbolism, right? I feel like a lot of you give more of yourself to others than you do to yourself. So this card is telling you it's time for you to pour into yourself. That's love, that's health, that's compassion, loyalty, forgiveness. Okay, you need to dump all of that into your own cup so that way you can move forward into the next phase of your life feeling abundant and prosperous and healed and happy, and have the healthy boundaries up and reinforce them when people try to push them down, because people are going to challenge you. I feel that already. You're going to be challenged. Why do you believe that way? Why are you acting that way? This isn't the way that you've always been. And they're right. You're new because you've healed. You've closed out things that don't work anymore, and you're no longer saying yes to things that you meant to say no to in the first place. Okay? So hold your ground, my dear friends. Love yourself. Be true to yourself. Don't overextend yourself. Don't overwork yourself. It is time for you to step back and say, what is it that I'm willing to give and what is it that I'm willing not to give? And then once you have those boundaries in place, keep them, reinforce them. It's okay to reevaluate them and adjust them as they need to be adjusted. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like for right now, some of you just don't have boundaries in place. So it's time for you to get those boundaries. Now, we are moving on to the Seasons of the Witch cards. So these cards are just helping with building from what we learned from the Crow Tarot deck, okay? So the very first card that comes forward is the Frog. Okay, Frog, number 17. And it says, may the lily beneath your breasts allow you to drink from its healing waters. Be still, for there is serenity behind the drowning croaks. So what the frog is encouraging you to do is to pause. Again, have the hangman moment, right? Pause, reflect, identify what's working. Identify what's not working. Identify what feels good versus what feels bad. And as you do this dissection, you will know how to move forward, because it will become very clear what is to go with you and what is to stay behind. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with frogs, but frogs spend a lot of time, just observing and sitting still, right? And then they flick out their tongue really quick to grab what it is that they want to eat, but they stay still until they're full and they're finished. They stay grounded in their spot. And they sing and they croak and they, hold their ground. So you're being encouraged to be exactly like the frog. hold your ground, claim your space, clear your space, so that way you can move forward. And this card, the number 17, I feel is significant for some of you. All right? Excuse me. The next card that's coming through is the wolf. Okay, the wolf is 44, and the wolf says, devour the ferocious calling within the howling of your spirit. Run wildly into the freedom of your knowing. So remember how with the crow card, we talked about, once you let death take its place, that you unravel what no longer is supposed to come with you, you release everything. Well, this is the wolf coming through saying, yes, release it, because as you release it, you're going to allow yourself to be true, authentic version of yourself and free yourself from what has been holding you back from accomplishing your dreams, your goals, your best life. Okay, so don't be afraid of what's falling away. Don't be afraid to leave people, places, and things behind because they're not meant to go forward with you. And the wolf is here to tell you, as you hang on to those things, they're going to slow you down. The wolf doesn't carry 1,000-pound weights with it. The wolf doesn't carry guilt. The wolf doesn't carry things that just don't belong to it, right? When you see a wolf, it's running majestically through the woods. Yes, it can be scary if they come upon you and they are aggressive, but for the most part, wolves are docile creatures. They're shy creatures. So let your wolf run free. Let that inner child, let that part of you that you have been containing run free, because it's time. It's time. So that way you can live your best life. Bring in that abundance, right? The next one I need to put my finger over because there's a little bit of nudity in here and I don't want to be blocked for it, so I apologize. The next one is seduction in reverse. Okay. So the number 36 is significant, and it says, hear the roaring flames with the masterful trance that calls upon heaving chest. Give in to its alluring grip, if you please, but heed my warning of the claws that draw blood without mercy. So I feel this card is telling you that it is time for you to change how you do things, right? This is in reverse because I feel like some of you have already started this process, or you are on this process, or you are on this journey where you've already identified things that are not good for you. So good job. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. Sorry, since you can't really see that card, I'm going to take it down a little bit earlier. But this card is telling you, you have done a lot of the hard work. Don't go backwards. Don't look behind you, because that's gone. Okay? It's time to move forward. It's time to leave the things that you've put in your past and move forward into your future. All right? Because if you try to repeat the same things that you've done before, you're going to be getting the exact same results. And I feel that for a lot of you, you've already noticed that. So you said, no more of that. I'm done. That goes back there. You can't come forward. Stop. So you've put that boundary. You've put that wall. You've put that, no, you're not coming with me. So good for you. Keep that going. There's still a few things that you need to clear out, but you need to use that same energy that you used to clear that out, whatever that was for you. I feel it was very heavy for a lot of you, and it was like an eye-opening experience of, wow, I can't believe how long I was carrying all of that garbage. And this card, the number 35, is very significant too. So change things up. Don't be afraid to rock the boat, because that's exactly what you're being called to do. Rock the boat, change things up, be different, all right? Now the next one that's coming forward is the number 32, reflection, all right? So reflection says, be weary of things you believe to see with eyes wide shut, for they are mirrors of the mad and truths only spoken with a bleeding tongue. So reflection is coming forward saying, either you or people around you have been deceiving you. Okay? Maybe the way you're showing up is not your true authentic self, so you're deceiving yourself. Maybe your partner is deceiving you in some way. Maybe work that you thought that you were going to love and enjoy is not treating you the way that you expected, or is not as fulfilling as you were hoping it to be. Or maybe your health has gone downhill. So reflection is encouraging you to pause and change what doesn't fit. Remember, you're not a square peg going into a round hole. You're a square peg going into a square hole, because that's where you belong. So don't try to make yourself fit in environments that make you feel small, that make you feel broken, that make you feel less than, because that is not your destiny. Your destiny is to live your best life. So people, places, and things that make you feel less than have no purpose for you going forward. Okay? It's time to let them go. And this aligns really well with the Hanged Man, right? Because the Hanged Man is telling you to look at things from a different perspective. Well, as you turn your perspective around, as you look at the situation or situations in different lights, in different directions, from upside down to inside out, to right side up, to whatever direction you need to take it, this is going to come to fruition, right? You're going to see those that are deceiving you. You're going to see, and it may not be people. It may be you. It may be your own self-talk, right? You might be doing this to yourself, or you may have people around you that may be doing this to you, or work, or you might be doing this with your health, or your whatever it is. However this resonates in your life, it's time for you to stop. Okay? It's time for you to stop, recognize it, own it, clear the energy. Don't beat yourself up for it, because that's not going to do you any good. Just recognize where you've been and reset. Ask for forgiveness where it's needed. But again, don't beat yourself up over it. And now we are going into the Higher Self Oracle deck, okay? A Higher Self Oracle deck, very, very first card is forgiveness. Oh, as I say this, my friends, I feel a lot of you are carrying angst for situations that happen to you by other people. And they are weighing, it is weighing so heavy on you, my friends. That's some heavy energy. That is way too much heavy energy. It is time to clear this. It is time for you to forgive others, to forgive yourself, to love yourself, to care for yourself, to care for those who have hurt you. Now, when I say care for those that have hurt you, that doesn't mean go back and rebuild relationships if they've fallen away. No, it just means that you, if you can, apologize to them. If you cannot, write them a letter that you're never going to send. But clear the energy, because you don't need to be carrying this weight of heaviness. And since you have not forgiven yet, it also means that you are carrying around energy that doesn't belong to you. And I apologize, that slipped off the screen. My hand dropped for a moment. All right. Forgive yourself for errors that you've made. Forgive those around you that have hurt you in unexpected ways. And you're going to see and feel so much weight. So much weight being lifted off of you. I apologize for that delay. I was told to delay that for a moment. But forgiveness is key. All right? Speaking kindly to yourself, forgiving yourself for things that you didn't know any better about. It's time. It's time for you to be free of all that guilt and all that pain and all that narrative that keeps playing in the background. I feel like for some of you, it's a story that keeps playing over and over and over again. And as that story keeps playing, you're dissecting it and you're thinking about how you could have done it differently. But my friend, you weren't meant to do it differently, okay? It played out the way that it needed to play out for that reason. And there was a lesson behind it. But now is the time for you to forgive yourself, for you did not know better at that time, okay? And it's also time for you to put up the boundaries. Remember, we've talked about boundaries already in this reading today. It's time for you to put up healthy boundaries. Now, there's a difference between boundaries and walls, okay? Walls shut you in and shut everybody else out, where boundaries, you are still allowed to, what's the word I'm looking for? You're still allowed to have a connection, but you're allowed to say no. You're allowed to walk into it with your eyes wide open and say, no, I'm not going to take 10 extra tasks that I don't need to be doing just because I got my work done sooner. Or, no, I don't want to go do that activity because I have no interest in it, right? Or, no, I'm not going to let you come cry on my shoulder and then when I need your assistance, you shut me out. No. Right? This is just a balancing of energies. This is you standing your truth and being comfortable in your own skin and saying no. No, 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 no. Only those who honor me and respect me and care for me truly, honestly, are allowed to come into my inner circle. Anybody who doesn't is going to be met with a boundary. But the boundary doesn't mean that you're shutting them out. The boundary doesn't mean that you're telling them to go take a hike. The boundary is just a clear stopping point that says, no, you're not allowed to enter past this area. Okay? And it's a good thing to go back through and look at your boundaries from time to time, because I feel like some of you already have boundaries up, but the boundaries that you've put up are no longer relevant to who you are today. So it's time for you to reevaluate those boundaries and establish new boundaries that support you with the person you are now and the person going forward, okay? And here we are again, another Hanged Man card. It's time to change your perspective. Your perspective on your situation is changing. I feel like for some of you, because we've had it in three different card decks, right? Perspective is coming in very, very, very heavy for you through this reading. And again, it's because of that Death card, so that you can reach your Ten of Pentacles, the life that you dreamed of. But you can't do it until you change your perspective. Look at it from all angles, because as you do this, the problems, the struggles, the challenges that you're facing, you're going to find solutions to. You're going to find moments that you were like, oh my gosh, why did that not come to me sooner? And it's because you didn't allow it to come to you. It's always been there, but you weren't ready to see it yet. And that's no blame, that's no shame, right? Forgive yourself for not being able to see it. But it's time to change the perspective. Because as you change your perspective, it will help you know how to take the next steps forward. It will identify the walls that you're reaching, or the traps that you're falling into. They will no longer be traps. They will be cleared, and you'll be able to walk right over it like it was never even there. But it requires you to pause, to go down deep, and reflect on what it is that's impacting you, that's stopping you, that's challenging you to say, release this so you can reach your 10 of Pentacles. All right? One more card is coming forward, and I felt this a minute ago. This makes sense. The direction is becoming clear, okay? As you change your perspective, the direction that you need to head, that your life is going in, that you need to take steps towards, is becoming much more clear for you. Okay? So by changing your perspective, by closing out the chapters and the energies that don't belong to you, by letting yourself sit in that moment of silence and that peace and setting up those boundaries, you are going to be... I apologize, excuse me. Sorry, that yawn came on because I feel like some of you don't breathe enough. I felt the heaviness in my chest, and I felt that it needed to come out as a yawn to release this energy, okay? So I apologize for yawning, but that's what that was for. And your direction, again, is becoming so clear for you. So my friends, you are going through a beautiful transition. You really are. I'm really excited for you. One more card deck just came forward into my mind, and I know this, like I said, this is a very long reading because this is energy that needs to be cleared. But this one is to help clear your energy. That's why this card deck is coming forward, and it's the Gemstone Whispers deck. Okay. For those of you who follow me, you've probably seen this deck quite a bit. So this is the deck, and it's basically gemstones. So let's see what gemstone or gemstones are coming forward for you today to help support you through this transition that you're going through, to help you along your path. Okay. Nice. Anything else? Yep. Okay. So we have 3 that have come forward so far, and 4. Okay. Perfect. Yes. We have 4 cards that have come through. All right. So then the first one that comes through is Doomerite. Wisdom is what it's talking about. It says, the fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. So I feel like for you, this card is coming forward to give you the wisdom and the insight that you need to clear up the guilt, the anger, the shame, the shadow of items and things and issues that you just don't want to face. But the Doomerite, I apologize, I'm horrible at pronouncing these, is coming forward as a support for you to help clean out the energies that do not belong to you, okay? So if you have this crystal already in your crystal collection, if you collect crystals, then I'm being told that you should wear it, you should carry it with you. If you do not, seeing it in this reading today gives you the strength of this crystal, okay? The next one that comes forward is malachite. Malachite is judgment. Reversing judgment is a matter of infinite hope. So malachite's coming forward saying you're being too hard on yourself, which is why the forgiveness card was coming through, right? I hear some of you actually saying, I've tried so hard, I give up. I have nothing else to offer, I give up. I throw in the towel, I'm done. Malachite is saying you're being too hard on yourself, or you're also being too hard on the situation, because you had to go through what you had to go through in order to learn your lesson, in order to grow and be ready for your next phase of the journey, okay? So please stop judging yourself. Again, forgiveness. Love yourself, speak kindly to yourself, don't judge yourself, and don't judge others around you. When you feel like you are about ready to judge somebody, maybe you need to pause for a moment and look at yourself and ask yourself, why am I judging that person for that? What is in me that I don't like, that I'm seeing reflected in them? Because it's coming from you and being reflected back to you from somebody else. Okay? So take a moment to sit with that and decide what that is and what that looks like and how you're going to deal with that energy. Okay? The next one that's coming forward is leptolite. It's talking about clemency. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Again, another message of forgiveness. A lot of forgiveness is coming in through this reading today, right? Forgiveness and perspective are the main takeaways from this reading today. So forgive yourself, forgive your enemies, forgive the situations that you've gone through, and learn the lessons that you were meant to learn through the challenges that you faced and overcame. Because they all have lessons, and you learned so many lessons, my friend. My friends, okay? So again, forgiveness. And last but not least is the garnet. The garnet is coming through with justice. Mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. So I feel like some of you feel like you need to get justice for something that was done and harmed you. But here's the thing, it's not your place to get the justice. That's where karma comes into play, okay? So I feel this is directly related to the death card. The death card is coming forward and saying justice is not yours to take. Justice is not yours to set right. Justice will balance itself out. The scales will become balanced again. Your goal, your job is to forgive, not forget, forgive, and to move forward. Okay? Wow, you guys, 4 decks that came through for you today. The biggest takeaway with this is you are going through a very expansive moment in time, okay? This is not going to last forever. I feel like this is actually very quick moving energy. So within probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks, this energy will have already cleared out of your system, and you will be ready to be in your next phase of life. If you allow the forgiveness to happen, you change your perspective, and you figure out how to put healthy boundaries in place and not let people, places, or things try to change you, try to tweak you, okay? All right. So my dear friends, that is your reading today. We hope that this resonates with you. If it does, please consider liking and subscribing so you can stay updated on any and all updates that we provide. And again, if you are interested in a private reading, we do offer those. Feel free to check our bio or look in the description below to see how you can connect with us for a one-on-one reading. And we appreciate you all so much for being with us here at Whispers from the Hidden Realm. Until next time, you guys, we love you. Love and light. Take care.